and a warm welcome to Your Health Matters with me, Susan Mwongeli. Now today I am in Kibera, which is one of Africa's largest slums. Now the communities that live around here are quite vulnerable to a number of conditions. In fact, a recent survey by the Africa Population and Health Research Center showed that non-communicable diseases are on the increase, and more specifically, high blood pressure. In fact, it says that high blood pressure is the new silent killer in the slums. And why silent? Because high blood pressure has no symptoms. You cannot know you have it until you go and have it checked. And this poses a big problem because unchecked high blood pressure can lead to a number of complications, a stroke, kidney failure, the list is endless. But there's also another concern. Recent reports from China and Italy show that up to 76% of the people that died of COVID-19 had high blood pressure. Is there a link? Well, it's still being investigated. But the fact that they're linking this to, it's important for us to be aware. So today we'll be talking about high blood pressure and tell you why it is important for you to go out there and have yourself checked. And if you have it, why it's important to ensure that you manage it to keep it on optimum levels. Hypertension or high blood pressure has long been regarded as a rich man's disease. But over the years, it has set root in urban slums like this one. One study says that 1 in 8 adults living in Nairobi slums has high blood pressure. It's been attributed to the changing lifestyle of slum dwellers who lack healthy food options and access to medical care. I set out to Kibera, home to over 200,000 residents, with some estimates putting the figure to as high as 700,000. I came to visit Christine Mudeu, who has been living with both high blood pressure and diabetes for years. I wanted to find out from her the challenges of living with a lifelong condition and how she was coping, especially now with the threat of coronavirus looming large. As with many stories I have heard, most people learn that they have high blood pressure by chance.
Sasa mimi siwezi kusema ile kitu nikaanza kusikia niko nayo kwa sababu ilikuwa wakati mmoja nilikuwa naenda kutafuta birth certificate ya kijana Uhuru Park, wakati hiyo walikuwa wanachukulia Uhuru Park. Sasa vile nilipeleka hizo makaratasi wakapasua, wakasema ijaandikwa vizuri, niende niandike vizuri. Nikarudi tena nikatafuta mtu hapo akaniandikia, nikapeleka tena ikapasuliwa, nikaambiwa hii sio mzuri. Sasa hapo ndio nilianza kusikia kitu kama mimi nasikia kiu, na nilijaribu kukunywa soda ya kila aina lakini kiu haikuisha. Nikajaribu kukunywa maji haikuisha. Sasa vile nilikaa hivi nikakuja hiyo kitu ikakuja ikitulia. Nikakuja nikaenda CDC. CDC wakanipima, wakaniambia hapa kwa sababu hatuna kipimo ya sukari tutakutuma kwa Wanga. Wanga siku hiyo ilikuanga saidi ijaenda ng'ambo. Wakaenda wakanipima, wakaniambia niko na sukari na niko na pressure. Wakanianzia matibabu hapo. Ile siku niliambiwa niko na pressure, nilistuka. Ile nilistuka sasa nikaanza kujifikiria sasa hizi madawa na watu wa pressure wanakunywanga madawa. Hizi madawa nitakuwa nikizinunua na nini? Mimi sasa ni mimi na Mungu. Sababu sijui, lakini nikaanza kusema tena Mungu hawezi kuletea mtu ugonjwa ili hawezi kumwezesha ashindwe naye, ama kuna sababu aliniletea hii. Sasa nikaanza kujipatia moyo, nikasema pengine kuna pahali nilikosea ndio Mungu akanipatia hii ugonjwa, lakini nasema tu Mungu nisamee. Kama iko pahali nilikosa, naomba tu msamaha. Kama ni madawa anipe madawa. Hata saa nyingine nilikuwa nakaanga bila hata kukunywa hizo madawa. Inakuja juu zaidi, narudia dawa, nasema tu hata mtu akiwa ugonjwa ingine si anakunywanga tu dawa. Wacha tu nikunywe mpaka siku ile Mungu atakuja kunipumzisha.
Mara nyingi unaambiwa ukiwa na high blood pressure ujaribu ili ile pressure isipande juu. Wewe unafanya nini?
Ukienda hospitali, sasa siku ile tunaitwa kuenda hospitali kwa seminar. Tunafundishangwa jinsi ya kukaa ama jinsi ya kujikontrol. na vitu zile havitakikani mtu asiitumie. Tuseme kuna kama pombe, kama sigara. Saa ingine tunaambiwa tusikule hii mkate, sio ya brown, tukulange ya brown, na sana mamboga na matunda, lakini sio kwa wingi, kwa kiasi tu. Ile kitu mimi nafanya kwa sababu sifanyi exercise sasa, siwezi kufanya exercise, siwezi enda nje. Sasa exercise yangu ni ya kutoka hapa, ama mimi naenda kununua mboga na kurudi. Sasa hiyo ndio exercise. Nikikaa hapa kwa nyumba, maybe naanza kurukaruka na mjukuu wangu hapa. Hiyo inakuwa hivi. Ama kama ni mafikirio sana, nachukua kitabu naanza kufundisha mjukuu wangu.
Hebu nikuulize sasa, hivi vile unavyoishi na high blood pressure na pia ugonjwa wa kisukari, ni changamoto zipi unazozipata haswa katika matibabu?
Ni kama sasa tuseme kama habari ya madawa. Habari ya madawa ndio inakuanga shida. Kwanza tuseme nikienda kama ushago, huku ni afadhali. Kienda kama ushago, madawa inakuwa ngumu kupatikana.
Na hapa ni watu wangapi wanakutegemea?
Hapa sasa watu wale walikuwa wamenitegemea sasa wamenipungukia, kwa sababu nilikuwa na watoto wawili. Sasa wale walikuwa wananitegemea kabisa, walikuanga shule. Lakini mmoja alikuja akakonjeka. Tena hiyo kitu ilini affect kabisa, alikuja akakonjeka akawa kama mwendazimu. Lakini sasa akapona. Huyu anafanya kibarua. Sasa ule mwingine ndiye alimaliza last year. Sasa naye pia alipasi, anataka anaenda college. Sasa hiyo ndio inanipa changamoto juu pahali walikuwa wamepewa sponsor, walikuwa wameambiwa wanapewa tu sponsor ya mpaka form 4.
Watu walio na high blood pressure wanaambiwa wajikinge ili wasipate maradhi mengine ama complications ambazo zinaletwe na pressure ikiwa juu. Sasa wewe unajilinda vipi? Na sasa vile kuna athari za virusi za corona, ni nini ambacho wewe unajifanya ili usipate hii corona na pia usipate pressure nayo isipande?
Sasa vile nimesikia hii ugonjwa na niko na blood pressure, kitu ya kwanza niliomba, nikaambia Mungu asiniwekee mafikirio ya kufikiria hiyo ugonjwa. Ni assume tu na roho yangu, lakini nijue iko. Juu nikiweka kwa kichwa itaanza kunisumbua. Nikitoka nje nitakuwa tu nikifikiria maneno ya hiyo ugonjwa. Sasa naomba Mungu, namwambia aniondolee hiyo picha kwa kichwa. Nikijuanga tu bado iko, lakini aweze hiyo mawazo kunipunguzia, ikuwe sifikirii sana maneno ya corona. Juu tuko hapa wawili na hiyo mjukuu wangu, tukilala kwa kitanda, mimi hulala kichwa ikiangalia juu na yeye analala akiangalia chini. Sasa nikikaa hapa nikipika na yeye anakaa kwa ile kiti. Lakini nikienda mahali, kama ni pahali mimi naenda na mtoto, mimi nampalisha max yake, tunaenda.
Christine, like many millions of Kenyans, is living with underlying conditions. And now they're faced with the threat of the coronavirus, adding up to their anxiety. For now, though, all they can do is stay indoors, try and follow government regulations, and also follow their doctor's advice. At the same time, trying to keep the hope alive that this too will come to pass. There's a lot of misinformation surrounding high blood pressure. To get a better understanding of the condition, I went to Karen Hospital, which has the largest cardiology program in East and Central Africa. I went to speak to Chief Cardiologist Dr. Dan Gikonyo, who is also the founder of the hospital. What is high blood pressure?
High blood pressure is just a measurement that we measure about the amount of pressure in your blood vessels. Indirectly, it is an indicator of how strong your heart is squeezing to let blood flow around your body. As the heart squeezes, it generates pressure. So indirectly, when we measure pressure, we are measuring how strongly your heart is squeezing the blood.
That's where I was going. What are the risk factors? Who gets high blood pressure and who doesn't?
Everybody is at risk of getting high blood pressure. Much more so if you come from a family that has high blood pressure. Of all the people with high blood pressure in the world, 9 out of 10 have hereditary blood pressure. It's high because your parents had high blood pressure. It's only about 5 to 10% of people who have high blood pressure because of some other disease in the body, like kidney disease, blood vessel disease, usage of some medications, the family planning pill, medicines that we use for inflammation, for arthritis, they all raise blood pressure. But the majority of people have a high blood pressure because it is how they were born.
There's something else that I saw, that younger and younger people are finding that they have high blood pressure, yet there was this perception, I think, that high blood pressure was for the relatively old people.
I think you're still correct. High blood pressure is generally for people over the age of 30. The type of blood pressure we're talking about that is hereditary, that's passed on from a parent to a child. There are younger people who can have high blood pressure, but if you find someone who has a high blood pressure below the age of 30, most of those people are the ones who have what we call secondary high blood pressure. They have high blood pressure because they have another disease in the body, like a kidney disease, blood vessel disease, hormonal disease, etc. So it is true, high blood pressure is more common in elderly people. Let me tell you why that is so. Because once we are born with a very low blood pressure. A newborn has a blood pressure of 80, 90 by 40. But as we grow older, all of us, without exception, all of us, the blood pressure keeps on going up and up with age. The difference being that in some people, it goes up very fast, others very slowly, others in the middle. Depending on the gradient that is rising every year as you grow older, some of us become more hypertensive than others.
Okay. Now, the other thing, you've been in this industry for a very long time, and you've seen the various changes. And one of them is that high blood pressure is now on the increase, or has been on the rise in the country. And the other thing is access to medication. What comment would you have on this?
One, as it's true, over the last 50 years in this country, we have been able to see that there are diseases that were not as common before that have become more common. One of them, of course, is high blood pressure, and the other, of course, is diabetes mellitus. Those have become more common because apart from the hereditary nature of those diseases, there's a lot of influence on those diseases by lifestyle and environment. If you look at people's whole country, take for example this country, Kenya, if you look at the average body weight of a person today and compare to the average body weight of a Kenyan in 1960, it has increased. We are more overweight than we were in 1960. Much more so because we eat more calories, we eat much more refined food, we eat more salt, and to make it worse, we exercise less. So we are using much and less calories. So this increase in body weight, decrease in activity, has increased sedentation, consumption of unhealthy foods, including alcohol and too much sugar, they favor both diseases, diabetes and high blood pressure. So it's on the increase. So a part of the treatment is to change the whole lifestyle that we live in. Eat less calories, eat less sugar, exercise more, eat less salt, moderation on alcohol, and no cigarette smoking.
And then there's also this notion that high blood pressure is a disease of the rich man in terms of lifestyle and all.
Unlike diabetes and other diseases, high blood pressure is not a disease of the rich. It has something to do with lifestyle, but by and large, high blood pressure is across the board. There's nobody who can say they are immune to high blood pressure because remember, it's all in your genes. It is true. There are factors that make it higher than it should have been. We say there are factors that aggravate the blood pressure. For example, the more sedentary you are, if you don't exercise, that can favor a slight rise. If you take a lot of salt, you can raise your blood pressure. If you take a lot of alcohol, you can raise your blood pressure. If your weight goes up too much, it can raise your blood pressure. But this just raises it from where it was. We won't call them causative factors. They are aggravating factors.
Something I've noticed, especially when you talk to patients who have high blood pressure, and one of the things that really puts them off is the fact that you have to be on medication all your life. Sometimes it's not a place somebody wants to be, and I've seen a lot of people who've given up on the medications.
It's very important to be compliant with the medications, because once you have a high blood pressure, there's very little else you can do. If it is a primary high blood pressure that runs in families, there's very little you can do to make it go away. And every year you get even much higher than it was the previous year. So it is very important that we advise everybody with a high blood pressure to take their medicines faithfully. It is true, people don't like taking medicines for life. But you know, that life you are worried about, that you are going to take medicines for, will only be there if you take medicines. If you don't take medicines, that life you are worried about, that you take medicine for a long time, will be very short, because you get complications. And high blood pressure, being a pressure inside the vessel, has got its own complications. You can imagine pressure in a water pipe. If you increase that pressure very much, that water pipe can tear, it can break, and it starts leaking. That's what happens to our blood vessels in the body when the pressure goes up. The pressure goes up, it tears the blood vessels. The blood starts leaking, so it can leak in your brain, you get a stroke. It can leak in other areas, it damages the heart, damages the kidney, apart from overloading the heart by the amount of work it's doing, pushing at a very high pressure.
Can I ever be cured of high blood pressure if I have it?
Yes and no. If you have a high blood pressure because you have a kidney disease that can be treated, for example, there are people who can have a kidney tumor or an adrenal tumor that can be treated and is taken away. Or if you have a blood vessel problem, you have a narrowed aorta, and we can correct it, yes. If you have high blood pressure because you are taking family planning pills, or you are taking medications that cause high blood pressure, and you stop taking them, yes, it will go away. But that's only about 5 to 10% of all the people with high blood pressure. Of the other 90%, there is no cure. There is control. But you see, as long as you control it, you are normal. You get no complications, no strokes, no heart failure, no kidney failure. You live like any other normal person.
So now, as we're talking about high blood pressure in these times of COVID-19, what is the link? Why is it, like, for instance, studies that have been done or research that has been done elsewhere, like, for instance, in Italy, shows that as much as 76% of the people that died had high blood pressure. Why?
It's been seen with COVID that people who have other comorbidities are more at risk of dying from the virus. People who have a lung disease, heart disease, cigarette smokers, asthma, high blood pressure, obesity. These people with those comorbidities have a higher mortality, or they are more likely to die from this virus than normal people. And that's because the main problem of COVID is respiratory. You are unable to breathe well. There are factors that favor bad breathing: excess body weight, sedentation, not being active, and if you have a lung disease, if you are obese. But all those together, these things are the same one and go along with high blood pressure. So when we say people with high blood pressure are dying more, we don't look at high blood pressure in isolation. We are seeing high blood pressure as a marker of many other comorbidities. Yes, and the mortality is higher. And much more so, mortality in COVID is higher the older you are. If you are over the age of 65, your mortality is higher. The same with high blood pressure. It's more commoner in that age group. So you find the two again go together: age, high blood pressure, coming together, and that increases the mortality rate.
So it has nothing to do with the medication that people with high blood pressure are taking, perhaps the way the virus interacts with this?
There has been some debate about some medications called ACE inhibitors. This debate has come out because we know that for the virus, the COVID, virus, for it to attach itself to the cells of the lungs so that it goes into the cells, it requires a receptor, which is called an ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. Angiotensin converting enzyme. And there are medicines we are using these days for blood pressure called angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. So it appears that there could be some correlation between that medicine and the enzyme and the virus. However, there is no data to show that people taking these medications are at either any risk or any benefit when it comes to this viral infection.
So, generally, I take home, I have high blood pressure. What should I be doing, especially during this time of heightened tensions, again, due to the coronavirus?
Very good question, because what has happened in this epidemic of COVID is that we are so focused on the virus that we have forgotten the other non-communicable diseases. And you find people are afraid of going to hospitals, but they still have the high blood pressure, they have diabetes, they have heart disease, and they are staying at home. So the risk is much more so of us ignoring those diseases and just focusing on the virus. So it's very important that for those of us who have chronic illnesses, please don't be so afraid of the virus that you don't go to hospital to get your medications, because the complications be much worse for you. And it's very important, as medical providers, we advise people, please continue with your treatment of non-communicable diseases at the same time as we are fighting the virus. That's the takeaway message. Don't forget the NCDs, the non-communicable diseases. Continue focusing on them as we focus on the virus. That's one message. Second message, these new things we are doing for COVID, even when COVID is gone, let's not stop it. Cleaning, washing, sanitizing our hands is not only for COVID. It helps us in other diarrheal diseases. It controls cholera, it controls dysentery, it controls typhoid. So let's continue sanitization of our environment and cleaning our hands even after COVID. Even other ways of distancing, continue on them, because they also help with other communicable respiratory diseases, including tuberculosis, which is also a respiratory airborne disease. And also cleaning the environment where we lived, cleaning the gutters, providing people in the slums with normal water. This should continue, because COVID is just but one thing that we are controlling with these new changes in management of healthcare.
Well, that's it on Health Matters today. I hope the information that you've gotten here will help you in one way or another. If you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to send them over. And another thing, please subscribe to this channel. Also like this video so that we can reach as many people as possible. As we always say here, please stay safe, take care of yourself, and take care of your loved ones. Until next time, bye-bye.